Welcome to the Private Practice Startup Podcast, where we help mental health professionals grow their dream practices and live a life they love. We chat with successful private practitioners, business coaches, and marketing experts, bringing you tons of practice building tips. We invite you to take advantage of our private practice paperwork and our signature marketing e-course. And we have a gift for you. This is the exact methodology we use to create our six-figure private pay practices and have helped many other therapists do the same. Go to privatepracticestartup.com and on the homepage, click the button to download a free copy of your dream private practice playbook. Now on to today's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Private Practice Startup Podcast. Today, I am excited about what we're talking about and really hope that this is helpful for you. And you want to listen all the way through and then definitely take action. But before I even announce today's topic, we hope that you listened to our podcast last time, which is somewhat relevant to what we're talking about today. And we talked about how to raise your fees in private practice. So Kate and I had talked about how to go about this, how to communicate, etc. So definitely take a look back on that. Today, Kate and Katie, that's me,
Hey
and
guys.
Kate. We're both your hosts and your guests. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of getting reviews in private practice. So if you're kind of like, but we can't have reviews, well, then you want to listen to this podcast for sure. So before we dive into this topic, which is so important and definitely can help your business, let's take a quick moment to thank our sponsor.
Is managing your practice stressing you out? Then try Therapy Notes. It makes notes, billing, scheduling, and telehealth a whole lot easier. Check it out and you will quickly see why Therapy Notes is the highest rated EHR on trustpilot.com. With over 1,200 verified customer reviews and an average customer rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars, you'll notice the difference from the first day you sign up for their free trial. They offer live phone support 7 days a week. So when you have questions, you can quickly reach someone who can help, and you're never wasting your time looking for answers. If you're coming from another EHR, they make that transition really easy. Therapy Notes will import your client's demographic data free of charge during your trial, so you can get going right away. Use the promo code PPS, as in Private Practice Startup, that's PPS, to get 2 free months to try out Therapy Notes for free with no strings attached. And remember, telehealth is included with every subscription, absolutely free. Make 2022 the best year yet with Therapy Notes.
All right, Kate. So let's dive in.
I'm excited about this topic too, because it's one that's kind of controversial and one that there's a lot of different opinions on, and people can, sometimes have some pretty strong opinions on this. Of course, it is very important that we all adhere to our ethics. We cannot solicit reviews. We cannot actively solicit reviews from our clients. We all know this, and this is something that's very, very important, that's crystal clear. So you can't finish working with a client and say, oh, we did such great work together. You did an amazing job. It'd be awesome if you could leave me a review. So many other professions can do that. I go to my doctor's office all the time, and I can remember my husband being like, why can't you just ask your clients for reviews? Like everybody else does it. And so we'll argue about it a little bit. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. You cannot ask your clients for reviews.
I've definitely had those arguments in my relationship, including the ones that said, but you could help her. Why can't you just be her therapist? Because I can't, and I don't want to be. Like, that's just too
because
icky.
We have ethical codes. Yes, exactly. So, and it's important to adhere to those. And we wanted to first off acknowledge that. And we have a different way of looking at reviews. When you have a business, having a really solid website and a Google My Business account is something that is so important. Even if you get a word of mouth recommendation, what's the first thing that you do? If you go to someone and you're like, oh, I'm in need of, a pediatrician or a primary care physician or a psychiatrist or attorney, whatever, you're going to go to their website and you're going to look at their reviews. You want to be able to Google a business and see their Google My Business account come up, and you want to be able to read through the reviews. I mean, I know I do this even when booking travel, and I'm looking for the locations or the restaurants. Yes, that's like one of my favorite things is to research the places that I want to go and the restaurant and look at all the reviews and make an informed decision about where I want to spend my time. And people do this with therapists all the time. So it's really important to have really excellent reviews, not only on your website, but also on your Google My Business page. So we've done other episodes about Google My Business and the importance of filling out a robust profile on your Google My Business account. And that is also a place where people can leave you reviews. You can, I guess, let me just take a step back, because I'm getting a little micro into the Google My Business aspect. But one of the ways that Katie and I talk about, this is something we talk about in our private practice marketing e-course, amongst many other things. We talk about how to go about getting reviews in an ethical way. So think about the people that you have collaborated with, other professionals that you've collaborated with over the years that you've been practicing. Even if you're brand new and just starting out, who have you worked with in your training program? What other counselors have you worked with? What professors have you worked with? What other colleagues have you worked with, regardless of where you are in your professional journey? There's going to be people that know you and know the quality of your work. Those are the perfect people to be having them leave you reviews on your Google My Business account. And then you can take those reviews and put them on your website and use them for other marketing material as well. And it's great to be able to even do review exchanges where you have collaborated with someone, you had a great experience with them, you have a referral relationship set up with them. This is the perfect person to be able to do a review exchange with. And so I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to take a breath because I'm sure Katie wants to jump into.
I know you've been very excited about this topic.
Well, you're hitting the ground running. This is something we talk about all the time.
I know.
We feel so strongly about.
You're exactly right. So how about before I go, let's just take a quick moment for our sponsor. Feeling anxious heading into tax season? You are not alone. That's why therapists turn to Herd. Built and designed specifically for clinicians in private practice, Herd offers affordable bookkeeping services, personalized financial reporting, and tax assistance to ensure you're making the most of your business and your time. Herd saves therapists on average $5,397 on bookkeeping and taxes each year. That's amazing. And when you join Herd, you'll work directly with financial specialists to track your income and expenses, file taxes online, and grow your private practice. Sign up now at joinherd.com. That's joinherd.com. Yes, reviews are important, and Google is king, queen, whatever. So you want to, Kate and I talk about appeasing the Google gods and being Google-licious. So, one of the things that I find, even seeking therapy myself as a therapist, is that, many times, of course, first I ask for word of mouth recommendations, and then I go where? To the therapist website, and then I look at their reviews. And we know that therapists often struggle with marketing, right? So a lot of times people are saying, oh my God, this person is amazing. And I'm going to their website and it doesn't even say what they were recommended to me for or what they do. But then when we look at the Google, the reviews, and it's maybe just one 5-star review. Gosh, that was a mouthful. One 5-star review. 1 5-star review. There we go. And it kind of makes you wonder. So what happens, right? I want you to think about yourself as a consumer. If you're getting all these accolades about this person and they're the best and they're amazing or whatever, but you're looking at their website and looking at their online presence and looking at the lack of reviews, what does that make you do? Go ahead, just answer that question in your mind. You're like, right? But as therapists, we know that many therapists struggle with marketing. So we have a call and just to see if it's a right fit. But, most often our clients aren't taking the time to do that, especially if they're getting a word of mouth referral, is they're referencing what they heard from, a colleague, a previous client is matching online. So why are Google reviews so important? This is why. So I know Kate was talking a little bit about how to go about that. And one thing, actually that popped into my mind, and probably because, I'm in the process of building another business. And, when you're newer into a business, so if you're newer in a private practice, you're like, but where am I going to get reviews from? Well, Kate just shared it, right? You probably came from a community mental health agency, a hospital, a program or something like that. You can ask your colleagues, right? And that is very important because that will help you build your online reputation and credibility. So that's one thing. And I know Kate was talking a little bit about review exchanges. That is such a great way, the value of reciprocity, right? Like you're going to give something to them, they're more likely to give to you. I know when a colleague has asked for a review, it's like, yeah, no problem. But I would have liked to be approached by hey, I'd love to do a review exchange with you. If you're down, that's awesome. Here's my link, send me yours. And do that, pretty quickly right away, because if you're asking them for something, you want to make sure that you deliver, but it is a really great way to build credibility. And you're not asking your colleagues or other people that you work with to, lie and say that they've been a client. That's not what we're looking for. They're speaking to your personality, your ethics, your professionalism. Like, are you quick to follow up? They can say that you've worked with, clients for the last 3 years, or you've worked with 4 clients recently, and maybe they can just share a result that the client achieved, or that you are the specialist in this. They are, you're their go-to person for fill in the blank. They can definitely speak authentically and ethically on that. So a lot of times therapists struggle when they're like, that's not my client. It doesn't have to be.
And when you're writing reviews for others, it's important to think about what you're writing specifically, the keywords, because that's going to matter for Google. It's also going to matter for potential clients who are coming to that person's website and they want to know what it is that they work with. So when someone is leaving a review for you, it's great if they can include your location. It's great that they can include your first and last name. It's great that they can include the presenting problems or specialties that you have helped people overcome. So whether it's working with teens, helping them overcome anxiety in Houston, Texas, awesome. Those are all keywords that are going to help the Google-licious aspect of the reviews. So this is something that we talk about often in our e-course, is speaking the language of ideal clients who are going to be searching for you, and also speaking the language of Google. So being able to kind of just be mindful of that when you're leaving reviews for people, and you can ask them to use your first and last name and your location and any other specific services that they have had experience with. And that way it can kind of let people know, oh, okay, I'll include that in my review.
And Kate, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually a great hashtag ninja tip. We haven't hashtag ninja tip in a long time. That's something more recently that I realized how important it is. And here's another hashtag ninja tip for you all. Kate and I firmly believe in having scripts, right? So you shouldn't be writing this email every time, right? You can have a script on how to request a review or a review exchange. And you can actually say those things. Hey, Kate, I learned recently that Google actually likes it better if we put our first and last name. And, as you know, my specialties are, working with couples through the affair recovery process. Do you mind mentioning that? And I'll do that for you. What keywords do you want me to mention in yours? Because that's also important for SEO and continuing to see your name or your location or your specialty all linked together to actually help with being very Google-licious.
Yeah, and it makes it really clear when potential clients are coming and looking at the reviews, they see, oh, great, Katie works with couples going through affair recovery. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And it helps them to instantly feel more confident about you being the expert in that particular area. So we hope that this topic has given you all a different way of looking at reviews and understanding of how to go about it in a way that is ethical and something that is so, so important for your business. And if you haven't started on the process of getting reviews, set a goal for yourself. Try to get 2 new reviews each week, or even 1 each week to start. Or if you're, if you have a lot of professionals and you want to hit the ground running, you can do more than that. It's great to have reviews coming in consistently for the business, and you all will really reap the results of that.
Awesome. Well, we hope that you guys have an awesome, inspired day, and definitely check out our next podcast, as we'll be talking with Rachel Cook. It's interesting as we're talking about reviews and fees and things like that. And Rachel is going to be talking with us and you about breaking the cycle of entrepreneurial, poverty, which is very interesting because as therapists, we're kind of brought into this field with many heavy messages about fees, worth, value, and what we do. So you're definitely going to want to check out this podcast. So we look forward to having you guys join us next time.
And it's time for our Startup Nation superhero shout out for today's episode, which comes from Haskell C. Haskell says, you guys are great. Being new to starting my private practice, the information and podcast have been Awesome. Thank you so much. Haskell, we are cheering you on every step along the way and are so glad to hear the content that we are providing on the podcast, and our other products and services have been so useful for you. And Startup Nation, if you all have a topic that you'd love to hear, let us know. We're coming up on 300 episodes, which is amazing. And we always want to make sure we're curating content that really meets your needs. So we will look forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, stay inspired.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining us on The Private Practice Startup. Visit theprivatepracticestartup.com for awesome resources, free trainings, attorney-approved private practice paperwork, and so much more.